is an open mic, so we would love for you guys to come up and say some expressions and some remarks. We're going to make like a little memoir book, so just want to let you know while the music's going, if it moves you, just come on up and say something about my mom, the family, yourself, or share a memory or whichever we would love for you to share. Okay, thank you guys again.
Maybe I'll start this off because we all have memories of Dorothy. When she first moved here, I used to volunteer here at Grand, passing out the Grand Times. That's how I first met her. And I told her I would introduce her to the circle. So as Dolores Penn mentioned, we had a little get together. So I invited Dorothy to come to that. And then I had started a Red Hat chapter. She wanted to be a Red Hatter. Purple with the red hats. And then several years later, I started a group. Some of you will be attending, although I'm not still involved. I started the Grand Connection, and Dorothy wanted to be a part of that. We have traveled. We have gone on cruises together. We have traveled up and down the highways together and just enjoyed one another. Chuck and my husband are best friends. I know my husband's going to miss Chuck if LaDonna takes him to California. He's already getting sad about that, both of them, I think. But we all love Dorothy, and she's going to be missed because she was definitely a nucleus in the group. And as many people have said before, when she wanted something done, if you wasn't quite ready to do it, she was going to push you enough that pretty soon you fell right in line with her wishes. And to the family, we love Dorothy, and she will be greatly missed. And God bless each and every one of you, and to each and every person here, I'm glad that you are present to show the family your love. Okay, I've started. Somebody come on up. Phyllis, come up. Phyllis live right behind her. Come on, Phyllis, don't be bashful. Phyllis Blackwell, you was her neighbor. Come on up. Somebody else come on up. They want some memories here.
I'm Cynthia Williams. I met Dorothy. We used to go to the same church, Kingdom in the Valley. And so one day after service, and my husband and I, we were ministers there during our time there. And so the pastor sent one of the armor bearers and told my husband Larry that pastor wanted to see us after church. So he had presented this make this presentation to us about a group that it was someone's vision, and that they had selected us to be over the group, and it was a 50 over group. So my husband said yes. I'm like, well, we need to think. But my husband said yes. So we did spearhead that group for 10 years, and it was called Prime Time. And so the person who had recommended that we be over the group had already selected the name. And I was talking to Dorothy a few days after that. She says, oh yeah, by the way, I went to pastor, and I told him that you and Mary needed to spearhead this group. I had this vision about it, and she had just laid it all out on black and white on paper. And so what we did was we took members and members' families or anybody who wanted to go. You had to be 50 and over, and we did things outside of church. So we went to Cancun, we went to the Grand Canyon, we would go bowling, we would give to the hungry and, feed them socks every year. We went to, we went to plays, we went to the Lion King, went to the baseball game every year, took like maybe 200 people there. And so it was Dorothy's vision. And it was her vision that we did it. And like everybody knows, if Dorothy wants something done, she's gonna assign a person to do it, and you're gonna do it. But I also, Dorothy and I, we've shared many days of prayer and, seeking the Lord, for her healing. And she'd always call me to, I need a song for this. What song should I have for this? Because I'm feeling this, and I would give her that. So I have a lot of texts back and forth, a lot of shared YouTube videos and songs. But she is truly, truly going to be missed. Oh, and another thing, she would call me and she said, I got a taste for this. I need you to cook this, or let's, when we going to the movies, but truly my friend will be missed, because I really did love her a lot.
Hey, LaDonna, don't get scared. I'm LaDonna's friend that when I stand up to talk, she always wonders, what is she gonna say this time? My name is Rose, and I'm a real good friend of LaDonna's, and I just have a memory of Mrs. Napier that I never even shared with LaDonna. We were at one of her events one year. If I'm not mistaken, it was LaDonna's birthday and she was having a celebration in that San Francisco area. And I did go, and Mrs. Napier was there, and we were having a good time, but it was also a hard time for me personally. There were some things going on in my life that, like we all get some drama going on in my life. And I will never forget that when I walked past Mrs. Napier, she tapped me in my arm, and first she remarked how good it was to see me again, because I actually lived in Texas at the time. So she remarked how nice it was to see me again, and then she told me that she had heard about the things that I was going through, and she told me to take my time and follow my heart, and to listen to my heart for what was happening. And you guys just don't know how much that touched me. It was a kind word, and that's what I needed at that time in my life, was for somebody to be kind to me. And it was Mrs. Napier, and she gave me a hug. And I just will never forget her kindness. She even told me to not worry about my parents, because at this time, everybody had a solution for the pain in my life except for me. So she told me to not worry about my parents, but to just follow my heart. And her kindness at that moment when I wasn't even expected, I will never, ever forget Miss Napier for those simple words of follow your heart and trust in what you want to do. So I know that she will truly, truly be missed. And I just thank you so much for those words of kindness when I needed them the most. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Phyllis Blackwell, and like everybody else, Dorothy was incredible. She loved everybody, and I've known Dorothy since I moved here. I'm also her neighbor. I live like right behind her. So I've known her forever, but Dorothy, well, since I've lived here, Dorothy could talk you into anything. I was part of the Grand Connection for a while, pretty much because Dorothy talked me into working for that group, and it was a great group, and we did a lot of things together. Like I said, Dorothy could talk anybody, and she loved everybody. She would talk to people in the store, and the next thing you know, they would be coming over to our house to visit her and bring her things. She was just an incredible, likable person. She talked, when her son passed, she talked me into making all the centerpieces for the table, which, was a big job, but I love Dorothy, and I really, truly, truly miss her.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bertie, and Dorothy is my first cousin, and we have four of us that was all born the same year. So Dorothy was first, my other cousin Emma was second, I was third, and Betty is fourth. So now we've only had 2 left. So Dorothy was here a little in Sacramento a few months ago, and we had a great time. Every time she comes, we all go out to the cemetery and see all our relatives there in Sacramento. And at that time, she told me, she says, Bertie, she said, I want to go to Paris. And I was like, oh, okay, because I have a grandson there that lives there. And I had told her, okay, we're going to do that. But, then this other trip came up for Africa. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll call Dorothy for that too, So then I had called her, but then she was busy that day. So I missed her. But then when your mind tells you to do something, you really need to do it. So I told Doreen, I said, I need to call Dorothy. And Doreen said, yeah, Mom. But then I got busy and started doing something else. And then I got the news, so that really hurt my heart. But we had a wonderful time as kids. So I love Dorothy a lot. So I just wanted you guys to know who I was. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and I'm Dorothy's niece. LaDonna's, we're second cousins. And I just wanted to also just reiterate what my mom was saying also, because my very first cruise that they allowed me to go on, I have to say it that way, because they didn't quite let us go most of the time. But the very first cruise that I did get a chance to go on, Aunt Dorothy and Uncle Charles was there. And I have to tell you, we went to Mexico and we had a blast. We had a really, really good time. I'm retired now, so I travel all the time, and I was really, truly hoping that she was going to be able to go with us. I had just come home from Southern California, as my mom was telling you, and we had that conversation. The minute I walked in the door, I was like, Mom, you know what, you need to contact Aunt Dorothy, Uncle Benny, because I just happened to have been with other family members in Southern California. So again, when your heart tells you that you need to reach out to somebody, just know that that's God talking to you, that it's time for you to say hello, just to have a kind word with them, because you just never know. You never know. And when we got the news 2 days later, we actually got the news 2 days after I got home, and literally couldn't believe it. My son is the one that lives over in Paris, and he actually called me. Roy's actually seen it before I did, sweetie. And he called me to say, Mom, Aunt Dorothy's gone. And I said, I know, honey. I said, she was supposed to be with us when we came to Rome, and you didn't get a chance to see her here. So hopefully when I get a chance to talk to him tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to let you know, because he was going to try and stay up and see the service today. So again, I just want to say to everyone, please, when someone crosses your heart, don't let that time pass. Make sure you reach out. And I'm telling Donna, we're an hour away. We're going to do better. We are going to do better. We got to do better, cousin. We really do. I love you all, and I thank you all for supporting our family, and especially my cousin right now. Tomorrow's going to be even harder than today. And for those of you that are prayer warriors, please keep them lifted. Please keep them lifted, because it's going to get rough. And it's just going to be the prayers of the righteous that are going to keep them lifted and keep them going forward. Thank you all.
Good afternoon, early evening, everyone. Ooh, I sound good. I sound like I could be in a band. Diddy, take me on tour with you, baby. Take me on tour with you. Anyway, you know I'm a clown, but seriously, if you guys miss Dorothy, look into the eyes of her daughter. Look into the eyes of LaDonna. You will see Miss Dorothy, I promise you. I'm her partner in certain business and promotional party events. This one right here, that's a young Miss Dorothy Jr. I'm telling you, she'd be running it. We have to have a grand piano, LaDonna. You sure we have to have a baby grand piano for this party? It would look nice, Jerome. We don't have nobody to play it, but it's gonna look pretty. I said, LaDonna, you are your mother's daughter. For real, for real. We love you, LaDonna. We love you through your mother. After coming to the service today, I understand you better. Hearing about your mom, I understand you better. I won't say she's bougie, but you know, she likes stuff her way. LaDonna, you have been there for me. You have been there. I was happy to be able to be there for you when she heard the news. We were just celebrating birthdays together. And Olaf, he's a beautiful brother, and the whole band, top shelf. They've been there. I feel like family to you guys, if you make me feel like that. And I see when your mama tell you, you ain't the boss of her. Your mom will tell you that, right? You ain't the boss of her. But you were there for her on the camera with your dad. You know, I look at you and your father, the way your father looks at you. I hope my daughter looks at me like that. I see the love, the support that you show your dad. If Tasia looks at me like that, I'll be a happy father. You're a great daughter, you're a great friend, and your mom is all through you. I can see it. Love y'all, Jerome 3D and H.D. Davis.
Yes, hello. I am Alicia Napier. I'm the mother of Tanisha Napier. I was also once the daughter-in-law of Mr. and Mrs. Napier. And I couldn't let this moment really go without saying what Miss Napier has been to me and my child. She's always treated me with respect and love, even after I wasn't her daughter-in-law. And Mrs. Napier has always been present as a grandmother. My daughter had an excellent grandmother. She was present before Tanisha ever came into the world. She would call and ask about my doctor's appointments, how the development of Tanisha was. And when I had Tanisha, it was funny because I told my sister, go call Miss Napier. And she did. And Mr. and Mrs. Napier and LaDonna came and Chuck, and they stayed until my child was born. There's not one thing in growing up about my daughter that Mr. and Mrs. Napier and her family has not been there. And I wanted you all to know that because I tell my daughter constantly, couldn't have chose a better grandmother. If I had gone into a blind, a better family. She's been a lot to me, and she's been even more to my child. And on her birthday, I wished her happy birthday. And I called her a queen, which was quite fitting of her. And I let Tanisha know now she's our angel. I love Mr. and Mrs. Napier. I love the Napier family. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Valerie, and I wouldn't say I'm a friend of LaDonna's, but I think I have to say I'm a friend of the Napier family for like over 30 years since when we first met. LaDonna was a neighbor, and when her family would come to visit, she would often entertain, and I got a chance to spend time with Mr. and Mrs. Napier, and with Tyree when he was a little tight. As a matter of fact, I think my husband taught him how to tie a tie when he was going to a prom or something. But, you know, it's funny because I love to sit back and we laugh and then we all say, oh, Miss Dorothy this, but I was telling LaDonna and friends that she was the person whom I would never ever call her Dorothy to her face. She was going to always be Miss Napier. I call you Mr. Chuck, but I don't think I could ever call her Miss Dorothy. Because while She was a ball of fun. I loved hanging out with her. The last time I was thinking I saw her, we were at the Marina Lounge for your birthday last year. And she said, come on, Valerie, let's get up and dance. You know, and that's, but I could never say, okay, come on, Dorothy. It's going to always be Miss Napier because she commands that kind of respect. You know, she was someone who I spent a lot of time with, but when she spoke to me, I felt like it was my mother speaking to me. And we tease Madonna because what we've been hearing, like Jerome said, you know, all the stories about Miss Napier, that's Dorothy number 2 over there. You know, the only difference is because I remember when Miss Napier would tell me to do something, she was very direct and says, Valerie, I want you to do such and such. And I will hop to it. But when Madonna asks me to do something, she says, you think we should try such and such? You think we should do this? And she does it in a very sort of soft, kind of pulled back way. But I know her so well that she's expecting me to do it. So, yeah, the apple did not fall far from the tree. So, anyway, I love this family. I love you guys. I love you, Mr. Chuck. I love you, Madonna. And we're here for you. I'm here for you. Come home soon. We miss you.
Dorothy and I were members of the Sisters of Faith Bible study, and I don't know how many people in this room know that Dorothy was an actress. Anybody? Okay. We had a retreat, and the theme of our retreat was God's grace. So she gave me about 3 days' notice to write a real short skit that we could do at our retreat. I was hurried, but I put it together. I only had a few actors, and one of them was a grandma. So I said, Dorothy, you want to do that part? And she said, no. I know how it is to be old, but I want to be the actress that was no longer, in show business, retired, but that's what I want to be because I am an actress. And that's how she got the part. We did our best, put together that little skit, and Dorothy became our famous actress. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jackie Jackson. And I'm a member of Dorothy's other family, the Sisters of the Valley. And as you've heard all of the wonderful comments, and we all live and love Dorothy and enjoy Dorothy. And I've known her for many years, but not nearly as long as many of you. But we worked on committees together, we played together, we laughed together, we celebrated together, and we had sadnesses together. We talked about our aches and pains together. We even had our knee surgeries within a week of each other in 2014. And instead of staying home like we should and recuperating, we were at an SOV meeting. So instead of just sitting in our chairs because we couldn't sit, we got up and we were standing against the wall because we had this fresh knee surgery. But one of the things I just want to share is that Dorothy lived life to the fullest. She squeezed every ounce of life out of this life, and she left absolutely nothing on the table. So we want to say thank you to Dorothy for being a part of our lives, for making our lives richer, and God's grace be with you and the whole family today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Toni Clayton, and how do I begin to say how I met Dorothy? I moved here from California in 2014, and I was introduced to the Sisters of the Valley. And they have a travel club, well, we still have a travel club, but it was small, and we generally always met at Dorothy's home. And that's where it first came about that we couldn't have more than 50 members because it was getting crowded and getting crowded and getting crowded. But Dorothy's home accommodated 50 people. So we started meeting there. And we formed trips that were coming up, and Dorothy wanted to go to Boston. And I guess I opened my mouth and said that I had a career in travel for 33 years. So she decided that I should help with this Boston trip. All I can say is Dorothy put together the Boston trip, and regardless of what I knew, I said, okay, Dorothy, we'll do this. And unfortunately, COVID came about, and that's why the Boston trip at that time, that was planned by Dorothy, with all her copious notes and her files, we just didn't have a chance to do. Another situation came up with Dorothy that will remain with me always. I was going through a situation with my husband who had dementia, and she opened her home. And she said, you need to get out sometimes and come on over, and Royal could be with Chuck and sit and watch football. And I was hesitant, but I gave in, and my husband said, she's a nice lady. And I never will forget that. It just really let me know that there are beautiful people in the world. And when you met Dorothy Napier, you knew that she was not just beautiful on the outside, but definitely on the inside. And then I joined Sisters of Faith, and while going through the struggle that I had with my husband, we were on retreat, and I was just falling apart. But she took me in her arms, she led prayer, and she even spoke in tongues, which was something that was very foreign to me. But yet, I felt that God was with us. And I knew the Lord was with me at that occasion. So and then we also played the Keno together. We have a Thursday Keno group. And when it was time to host, I said, I don't have room in my house for all these ladies. She said, well, we'll host together. So my memories will definitely be much more aware, because we always hosted at the end of November, early part of December at the Napier home. All I can say to you is the family. You treasure those people that are in your family, because you never know. And I just give thanks that I had a chance to know her, not maybe as long as some of you did, but the impact that she had with me, I never will forget. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Garrett Williams, and I met Dorothy back in 2004 when I first relocated here from New York. My husband, at the time, we weren't married, and we decided one weekend we were going to go to Vegas and get married. And Dorothy and Charles were staying at the same location we were staying at. And I called Dorothy and I said, Dorothy, what are you doing this afternoon? Or no, what are you doing tomorrow? She says, nothing. I said, well, Bill and I get married. She said, oh my God, I gotta go shopping. Wait. I said, well, this is where it's gonna be and whatever. She helped me get through that marriage. It was so beautiful. And they were our witnesses, Charles and Dorothy. And then she was there for me in the end when I lost my husband 3 years ago, that he died during COVID. So I wasn't able to have any services or anything. And at the very last minute, the undertaker called me and said that we could have the service at the Veterans Memorial where he was going to be buried. But it could only be a few people. And I called Dorothy and asked, could she come? And she said, oh, absolutely. So she was one of the few people that were there as I put my husband to rest. And I will forever be grateful to her. Her friendship, she was the most kind, sweet woman. During her final days when she would call me and say,
I have a taste for some salmon croquettes. And I said, okay. I went and got salmon croquettes. I made salmon croquettes, grits, and took it over there. And I said, well, this is for you, and then this is for Charles. She said, oh no, this is for me. He can have maybe one or two. But I will miss her dearly. She was a very good friend, and I love her. And to the family, I wish you all the best. I'll be here for you. When you go to California, I'm coming to see you. You know, I'm always on the go. I'm getting ready to go to Vegas, so I'll see you again, okay? Love you all. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna make mine quick, even though I had a lot of encounters with Dorothy. First encounter I had with her, she belonged to the Sisters of Faith. I think they were just getting started. And my husband passed. I belonged to Sisters of the Valley, so I was calling people around, you know, to see what I need to do to make the arrangements. But my son came in town. He lived in Florida, and he came into town to go to the funeral. Well, he disappeared. He got there like on a Thursday. I didn't see him. I saw him Thursday night. I didn't see him all day Friday or Saturday. And so I had called the prayer warriors to see, because I thought something had happened to him. And Dorothy came over to my house. It was about 11 o'clock at night, because I was just calling around, to console me, because here I had lost my husband, and I thought I had lost my son, because he was a big mouth. Okay, so she talked me through that. Everything turned out okay. You also know that Dorothy, when I met her, she had 2 left feet. She couldn't dance too well. And we have this group called Desert Palm Dancers, LT. P stands for Phyllis, A stands for Alice Blanding, LT, and Miriam. So we used to teach line dancing down at this restaurant on Grand. And Dorothy, like I said, couldn't dance so well, but she asked me if I would teach her how to dance privately, okay? So I went to her house, gave her a few lessons, and now I can look back at things and say, now Dorothy is dancing all over God's heaven. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lorenzo, and I'm a band member, unmanageable band member that LaDonna tries to control. Along with a bunch of other members. But anyway, I just, Mrs. Napier, she was very, very loving. And I met her and Mr. Napier, I guess, maybe about 30 years ago. And every time I would always see them, they would always show me love and say, hey, where's Lorenzo? And yeah, I'll just remember her for that. Love is something that, it's an action word, it's to be shown. And you can say that you love people, but how you treat them is really an indication of how much you love them. But I can honestly say she definitely showed love. And yeah, she will be missed. And but LaDonna is here to continue on. And because I see she's got her dad looking like Ice-T with the ponytail. Yeah, but I love them, and wow, they were together for 79 years, 69. Me and my wife, we're on what, 17 years now, and we're struggling already. So but anyway, I wanted to say something. Yeah, she was very, very loving, and the whole family is very loving, and yeah, God bless everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the family of the Napiers, want to thank you for coming and being with their family this evening, once again, this afternoon. Once again, I remind you, if you will give them a call or send them a letter or a text or something after the day is over, because that's when they're really going to need you. So we appreciate each and every one of you showing your support today. May God bless each and every one of you and grant you a safe journey home. Thank you very much. We have to come to a close. God bless you.